like the human nature of you got a backup quarterback rather than an MVP candidate to prepare the same way and kind of approach the week the same way?
I think Mike T doesn't really allow that to happen. So when you're in meetings in the morning, there's none. That's not how things are presented to us. That's not how the information is presented to us. And he's been with the offense coordinator for a couple years in 2 different cities, so I know they're going to be comfortable running their normal offense with him. So we're preparing like normal.
Joe, so just statistically and analytically speaking, through the first 5 games, you're having your best coverage year in 5 games. Does it feel like that way to you, or do you feel like there's been some plays left out there?
I think there's always things to get better at. There's definitely plays in every game where I wish I could have back coverage-wise, but I mean, I just go out there and try to do my job, and I think it's more of a testament to the whole defense and being able to communicate so I can come in and feel comfortable, because I learned the scheme through 2-3 weeks before the season even started, and just being able to be on the same page with the guys on the team is what's really, I think, allowed me to just feel comfortable out there.
That said, whatever they're asking you to do in this short period of time that you've been able to do, so you feel that way as well with their offense?
Yeah, definitely. I think I still feel like I'm settling in terms of understanding the whole defense holistically, but I know my role and my responsibility on every play, and as I get more reps, as you get more experience, you start to understand all the moving pieces on defense and who's working with who on every given play. You just start to get better and understand things more.
Joseph, that 4th and 2, fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You and James seemed like you were mixed up a little bit. Is that just, not communication, or?
Yeah, it was just a misunderstanding. We communicated before the play, and there's just a misunderstanding once the play started. We didn't see the things the same way, and that's where things can kind of go hairy on you a little bit. But we talked about it with the coaches on the sideline right after, got it figured out and ironed out, and obviously we were able to win the game, so it wasn't as big.
What's the rapport with you and Devin? How's that growing?
It's good. I mean, Devin's a great young football player. He's coming off his knee injury from last year, but he's been in the scheme longer than me, so it's been good for me just to ask questions and bounce things off of ever since I've been here, and just learning how to play next to him and learning what type of player he is on the field and in those moments. It's been a productive and positive thing for me to experience.
Joe, maybe this is an example of what Mark was asking about, but other teams are always trying to get mismatches. So when you guys are lined up and you see, oh damn, here comes McCaffrey, they light out against you specifically. What can you guys do about that? Can you switch out of it, or sometimes how do you?
Yeah, there's always checks and calls in every defense to try to minimize mismatches in terms of that, things like that. I mean, obviously we have specific checks for specific calls, and sometimes you get stuck with things. But like if I'm lined up on a receiver, I got to know where my help is. I'm not going to try to play a receiver one man-to-man or like it's zero coverage. I know where my help is, try to funnel him towards help and not let him beat me to my leverage. And that's the basic principles of defense when, like a guy like me, if I ever get stuck on a receiver or something like that.
You always have help, though? If it's 5 wide?
Yeah, we always have help. Unless we're in zero coverage, and if it's zero, I should be blitzing. If anybody has a linebacker in coverage and zero coverage across the NFL, I don't know what kind of scheme they're running.
You guys did all right last week without Sutton. A bunch of different key guys were filling in there. What's it going to mean to get him back if he in fact comes back?
Yeah, I mean, Cam's great. He's a great voice on the field. Like I was talking earlier with communication, he's an important aspect. Just making sure, because in certain sub-situations, me and Cam are working a lot opposite of each other, and I just got to know we got to be on the same page with what we're talking about. And he's a reassuring voice. He's been here for a long time. He knows what he's talking about. He studies very hard during the week. He knows what the other team's trying to do in certain formations and how they're trying to attack us. So it's good to have him out there and be able to talk back and forth pre-snap.
When he's not out there and they're throwing these different guys in and moving parts around, does that make it difficult for them?
Yeah, the hardest thing for me is I got to know who's playing what position. So I come out there and looking, who's the nickel, who's the dime, who's the free safety? I got to ask. Like the other offense is asking the same questions. I'm asking the same questions sometimes, especially if people get hurt in the game. But I think everybody on the team does a great job during the week of communicating and emphasizing the communication, because when we get in the games, there's not really a drop-off in that aspect. So I think the guys who are asked to step in have done a great job and will continue to do a great job. I don't think Mike T will really allow them to do anything less.
Thanks, guys.
Not to bring up bad memories, but I know last time you guys played the Seahawks here, it was a rough game for you. I mean, what do you remember about that? How much did that kind of help you learn and grow as a guy who's in his second year as a starter at that point?
I mean, they just made a play. It was one play doesn't determine the game, but at the same time, yeah, it's just a play that you have to learn from and just build off of. So it's just something that you develop over the years and just to maintain that mentality that you got to go to the next play and it's the next game. So it's the next game for us, so that's the biggest game.
Metcalf and Lockett are still there for them personnel-wise. I mean, are those guys that you look forward to matching up with again? I mean, when you saw that they were going to be on the schedule and everything like that?
For sure. I mean, you know, you like to compete. That's what we're here for, to compete each game and each year. So everyone develops their game. Everyone try to go out there and help their team win the best way they can. So I definitely say excited to go out there, play them guys, and hopefully we can come out with a win.
Terrell, correct me if I'm wrong, but did I see you matched up one-on-one with Devontae Adams in Green Bay a few times?
Yes.
What was the emphasis of that?
Man, it's just sometimes that's how the call comes out. You have to go out there and compete against great guys. Sometimes it's big-time receivers, sometimes it's big-time tight ends, sometimes it's even nice running backs. So, you know, you just got to go out there and compete and go and put your best foot forward each and every play.
You guys have done a nice job of shutting down the other team's top lineup. I mean, they maybe do some damage, but not the damage. You know, last week we saw Adams go off for like 200 yards or whatever against the Bengals. Didn't do that against you guys. What are you doing differently to kind of take that away? And is that something you can do against the Seahawks when you get two of those guys?
Yeah, it's really just put an emphasis on it. Put an emphasis on taking out some of their key guys that everyone knows, and just go out there and try to limit their capabilities, because great guys are going to make plays regardless, but just limit their big plays and keep on competing and make someone else have to beat you even if they don't beat you.
You and Mink have been a big part of that, kind of keeping the...
Trying to. Everyone on the defense, though, because we can't do it without the D-line getting up there to the quarterback, and we can't do it without the linebackers and everybody being on point either. So we all try to play a part together.
How do you feel about that you played?
I feel good. I feel play pretty good still. A lot to learn from, a lot to develop, a lot to grow from. But at the end of the day, man, I just think everyone's out here with the same goal, because like Ben always say, we don't have to play great individually, but if we play good collectively, we'll go out there and we'll win a lot of football games. So that's our whole mindset. Just come out and let's win football games. So let's take it one game at a time. We get through this game, and then we're back at 500, and now we can really talk about let's turn up the season. So that's our whole mindset now.
That shows a lot of trust in you, in your coverage ability, with them putting you on a guy like Adams, does it not? And would that be something that they would have done maybe earlier in your career?
I mean, honestly, I just go out there, I play the call. I try to go out there, I go compete with whoever is in front of me. If it's a tight end, if it's a wide receiver, I just got to go out there and compete. Try to go out there and make plays and not let them catch the ball.
Do you feel like the coaching staff has more trust in you now, though, than they did maybe in years 1, 2, maybe even 3?
I mean, he spoke about it earlier. I guarded Metcalf early in my career, so he's one of the big-name guys. So it's really just making plays and just continue to develop. And when you're in those positions, just go out there, feel comfortable, and go out there and compete and help your team.
You mentioned feeling comfortable. How is your communication with Mika, and how do you feel that relationship grown?
It's grown a lot. We pretty much know each other. Still some things that we can work on, of course, but man, I enjoy playing out there with Minka. He's a great guy. He's a playmaker. He's a leader. So it's just going out there, man, just create our bond and keep on growing with it.
What's the key for you playing off him, especially if he's improvising or being able to do some other things?
Man, just work on it today like we did in practice. Figure out exactly what he likes doing out there and what he is comfortable with doing, and his disguises and everything, and then just playing off and growing together as a tandem.
How's the week prep different when you got a backup rather than a MVP candidate you're facing this week?
Nothing's different because everyone in the NFL is capable. Some people, of course, can make more plays than others, but everyone is capable of making big plays. So got to put respect on his name and go out there and compete like we're going against the MVP candidate. So we got to go out there and continue to go out and fight hard, and let's go get a win.
Primetime game, Sunday Night Football, does that do anything different for you individually to get the juices flowing?
Man, it amps up everything. I guess you can say Coach Tomlin already had everyone excited this week because everyone doesn't play primetime, especially Sunday night. All your peers are watching. he asked us what we do after games each week, and everyone said the same thing. So we got to go out there and put on a show the best way we can.
As in, you guys go home and watch Sunday night?
Go home, eat, fellowship, watch the game, have a good time, enjoy your family.
All right, 2 more guys.
With that Sunday night, is the day different? You know, because it's a night game, you get so long before you have to be there.
The day is different because a lot of times you just wake up, you got to go out and play. Now you got to be patient. You got to make sure your energy level is not too high, not too low. You got to watch what you eat before the game. You got to make sure that you're off your feet because at the end of the day, that nighttime game, like I said, everyone's watching. And you got to be prepared, you got to be ready, and you got to go out there and help your team win.
What do you do today after the game? You watch football all day?
When we're there?
On Sunday night games, what do you do all day?
Oh, all day, just
Do you watch football all day?
watch football, just hang out with my family, get something good to eat, of course, and just chill, man. Just try to clear my mind because I know that nighttime is going to be stressful, and I got to be able to stay locked in all day.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Terrell.
Perfect. No problem.